And welcome into a Wednesday edition of Philly Voice Sports Bets. I am Harry Mays, Devan Kaney in the top right, and Eytan in parts unknown with sketchy internet. We will try to get through this broadcast because he's got a couple of big teasers that he wants to send your way in pro football. But we, of course, are sponsored by the great folks at Rita's.
Rita's is bringing back pumpkin perfection with our pumpkin milkshake and Reese's Take 5 Pumpkin Concrete. And new app users can get a free ice when they download and use offer code PUMPKIN. Trademarks are used under license. Offer expires October 16th.
Be cool, Rita's.
All right, guys, a lot to get to today. We got a big Thursday night game coming up tomorrow night that I can't wait to watch. In the AFC West, we got Phillies with a big win last night, and we got college football, a light slate on Saturday, but I did find the one game of interest is a game that I love, and I want to go over that today. But what did you think of that Monday Night Football debacle? I mean, we were on the right side, Eytan, with Seattle, but my goodness, Nathaniel Hackett should be fired.
I'll give him time. I'm not writing off the Denver Broncos quite yet, but week one, when you look at favorites that come in, we talked about that. Also, just the level of emotion, right, that surrounds not just Russell Wilson, but the team around him, because they wanted to win that for him as well. I was disappointed. If I was a Denver bettor, I think the thing I'd be most disappointed in would be the game plan and just how they didn't really help Russ out at all. But look, man, Pete Carroll's going to Canton for a reason, and he had all summer to prepare for that. So you go back to the spreadsheet. We had him at, money line, quarter unit. We had him half unit and all that. But the big thing now is that I don't want people to think like, oh, Seattle's on on one, or Denver now is like going to fade out. I think that was an isolated example, Devin, where it was just a matter of that.
I thought a lot of people put too much into the Broncos just absolutely destroying the Seahawks. And I had a feeling that game was going to be a lot closer than people gave it credit for. I have to say why my one bet didn't hit, and that was a DK Metcalf anytime touchdown, unfortunately. But still, Seahawks won. I mean, it was a close one. But they didn't get blown out by the Broncos like a lot of people were predicting that they would. So
and two fumbles at the goal line. I mean, my goodness, they should have won that game rather easily. So you're not putting in Geno Smith for MVP bets yet, Eytan, just yet after that great performance?
No, but you mentioned the fumbles, man, and stuff happens in games. And that's why, everybody loves the over, and we love points, and we love to bet over first half, all that. But unders happen because people make mistakes. And that's a good reminder there, especially in prime time. And I think you might see a mistake or two on Thursday night as well. So we'll see.
Well, let's go to that game since you just teed it up for us. That line opened at 3. Kansas City favored, of course, at home. It's now bet up to 4.5. I just checked on DraftKings. I love the Chargers plus 4.5 because I think this division is a super competitive division. I think there's going to be a lot of 3-point games, 2-point games, 1-point games in these divisional matchups. So if you're going to give me Justin Herbert plus 4.5, I'm taking it to the bank.
A stat that stood out to me, actually, I don't even know if you can call it a stat. Quick fact. Kansas City has won 6 straight home games or home openers. And they're 11-2 in their past 13 primetime games. So that makes me hesitant to take the Chargers in this one. I don't know if I'm all in on the Chiefs yet. Harry, before we started recording, we were talking about how this game has been tough to figure out what to put money on. Right now, I'm looking at player props. Like, to me, Pat Mahomes, 2+ passing touchdowns, but that's not super exciting. I think another stat that was interesting to me about Pat Mahomes was he has averaged over 4 touchdowns per game in the month of September for every season that he's been quarterback for the Chiefs. So that's something else that people can watch for, but I'm still very undecided when it comes to like specific props with this game. So I don't know what to expect.
So I think you're onto something though, which is, and for me, and I don't know how you both build or anybody else out there, how they build, especially if you're building like a same game parlay, or if you're just looking at player props, a lot of times you just want to create a narrative, a story that makes sense, right? So it's not conflicting where you're going under 42.5, but you're going over everybody's passing yards, et cetera. So I think you're right, though. And that's where the one area that I would want to target for the Chargers would be passing. And it would be Herbert's passing yards. It would be receiving yards, maybe even receptions. looking at a guy like Eckler's numbers receiving, because to your point, Devin, I'm with you. Like, I'm on the Chargers. I got in at 3.5, but I only took the points because I think this is going to be a tight one. But I would be shocked if the Chiefs didn't win this football game. So if the Chargers are keeping this close, or if the Chargers are down, guess what? Justin Herbert's throwing the rock, right? Like left and right, left and right. It's hard for me to think that the Chargers are in this football game or even winning this football game without Herbert. So, yeah, I mean, on the other side, because I like where you're going with Mahomes and the Chiefs, but I think that also correlates with a big day for Herbert in the passing game.
Can they make a total? Can they make a total high enough in this game?
That I was literally just going
Right.
to ask. I was just
Right.
going to ask about the point total, because like this is the kind of game that could either be an offensive shootout or a defensive struggle game for both teams. So I don't know. Like there's so many factors when it comes to this Thursday night matchup that I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Like this could happen, or the Chargers defense, like anything could truly happen. So curious to get your guys' take on that.
Take the Chargers in the over and set it and forget it.
No, man.
Oh, so you're thinking the over? You think they go over the point total?
What do you have it at? 55.5 right now?
54.5. 54.5.
I mean, I'm inclined to go under just because that's a ton of points, but I get what you're saying by all means. Look, man, I think there's also the element, not just with the total, as far as the overall total, but if you were going to get a counter, right? Like if you were going to get a probably plus money counter on a total, it might be under the first half, and it might be under even the first quarter because of the expectations of so many points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because both these teams, they could get off to slow starts, but they score in bunches, man. They score quickly.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to find one, you could try. These are tough to find. Like DK usually has them, and then that's it. But what you could do is try to find team to score 3+ in a row, like 3+ scores in a row. It's usually a yes or no problem. Will a team score 3+ times in a row? I bet you in a game like this, because of the offenses, you could probably get plus money on that, only because the idea is that if the Chargers score, then the Chiefs score. If the Chiefs score, then the Chargers, like back and forth. But you get a turnover in there, and scoring is field goals as well. It's not just touchdowns. So I'm going to look for that as well by Friday, or by tomorrow. Sorry, and post it.
All right. I don't know if Devin loves the Phillies. I don't know if she's got anything on the Phillies, but they had a pretty impressive win last night. Your boy Bailey Falter, I'll tell you, he's looked pretty darn good over this last couple of weeks.
He does. Who would have thought that Bailey Falter would be like the most reliable pitcher the Phillies have? I don't have any specific bets when it comes to the Phillies and playing tonight. They play tonight, yes.
Yes.
I need
Gibson's
to
on the
look
mound.
at those bets. Football is kind of taking over my brain betting wise, but I'm glad the Phillies.
That's not a bad thing.
What's that?
That's not
a bad thing.
Yeah. But yeah, Bailey Falter is our savior.
Yeah. Gibson against Cabrera tonight. First 5 runs over the total of 1.5 for the Phillies at -115. I think they get the bats going tonight because they were stifled last night by a really good pitcher.
What's Gibson's K prop? Yeah. Sorry, Devin.
Oh, all good. All good.
Gibson's K prop? I got to look that up.
Probably going to be 4.5. If it's 5.5, I'd be interested in going under.
I think it is 4.5 now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's probably 4.5. That's a sharp line.
Yeah. So you'd stay away from that? That would be a pass?
Yeah, if it's 5.5, I think even if I'm laying 130 or something, 5.5, under 5.5, I'm good with that. I don't trust him. There are Ks in this lineup, but I think getting to 5 Ks is much easier and stopping there than betting he's going to get to 5 Ks, if that makes sense.
Right. It's actually 3.5. Gibson is 3.5.
What is it? It's I'm sure it's shaded to the over.
-175.
No way. I'm out on that bet.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
I'm not laying near 2-1 on a guy who could easily get rocked and leave a game with 3 Ks. And I'm looking back like, why the hell did I lay $175 to win 100 on a guy who was just way too much variance with his strikeouts?
Right. That is not good value, Eytan.
No,
I know you're always searching for value. Do we want to put up one of your teasers? Because you sent Matt a couple of teasers.
Well, yeah, but I know, like you got college action here, college football.
I got one play.
Oh, that's it? Just one play?
Yeah,
it's Wednesday.
This is a dog shit week in college football. I mean, there's not much to watch. I'm playing golf Saturday afternoon rather than watching Penn State Auburn. Come on, man.
Shame on you. Shame on you, Maze.
I'm going to be buckled in for Miami at Texas A&M at 9:00 Saturday night. Okay, I'm going to stay up for it. I'm going to take a nap so my old ass can make it to the fourth quarter, because I got Miami +5, and I also took them +180 on the money line. My man Tyler Van Dyke has 73% completion already. Parrish Jr. and Franklin Jr. are getting 6 yards a carry in the backfield. Their defense has forced 6 turnovers already. I know they got rid of the turnover chain, but they're making turnovers. Texas A&M is ripe to fall. They were terrible last week. They got quarterback issues between Haynes King or Max Johnson, which is Brad Johnson's son, by the way. You remember him from Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. Super Bowl winner, Brad Johnson.
Right. They're not running the ball well, and their kicker has already missed 2 kicks. Miami's got a really good kicker. Give me the Hurricanes. I'll take them with the points, and I'll take them on the money line.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I have nothing to counter on that. I love that game. I think that game probably has over written all over it. So
could be.
Who am I to say I wouldn't tail you, Maze, on that play? Beautiful. That was a well thought. Like, he put in a lot into that play, Devan.
Exactly
well,
right.
College football, of course he's going to. I should just ask Harry who to bet for college when it comes to college football.
Right.
I'm much better when it comes to NFL than college football.
Somebody's got to pay attention to this shit.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. I will throw this out. Do you like Cincinnati? I got them laying 20.5. Do you like Cincinnati this week?
The Bearcats to roll?
Yeah. I mean, I laid 20.
I didn't even.
Actually, it was 20. I stand corrected. It was 20. So I'm even under that. Yeah, I'm under that hook right there. It's just a quick. I'm going to rip a page right out of Devan's book because she's right. We should be hitting you up for college play. So I put something on, and look, I'll cash out if you don't like it.
It's up to 22 right now. So I'd sit there at 20 and be good with it over Miami.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, there's no key numbers anymore in college outside of 7 anyway. So that's fine.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. All right. I'll tail you on that.
Well, that's fine. All right. So we're doing teasers here or what?
Yeah, absolutely. Which one do you want up there?
Let's do the big one, Matt, that I sent you with Seattle in there, because what I wanted to do here is this is a 7.5 point teaser. Very rarely, very, very, very rarely do I do anything other than a 6 point teaser, just because push frequencies don't really add up to buy an extra half point unless you're really pushing through a key number. But even then, it's not worth it for me. So with all of that said,
yes.
Seahawks, they already covered clearly that 14.
Right.
Washington, I don't understand this. They were getting 1.5 on the road at Detroit. I'll gladly push that up through multiple key numbers at +9. I brought the Browns through 0, and I know you normally don't do that. But listen, we're going to see overtime a lot this year. We're going to see some ties as well. I think that the whole notion of no longer pushing through 0 is subtly, not in a year, but slowly going to move a little bit if you can get a point or even a half a point to cover a tie. So that's all that I put Cleveland in there for. The Rams, I dropped them to 3, and the Packers are dropped to 2 because there's just no way in hell that either one of those two teams are not going to cover those two lines respectively. So bam, there you have the 5-leg 7.5 point teaser, Harry and Devan.
Right. Yeah, we got Seattle's already a winner. The Commanders, the Browns, the Rams, and the Packers. $50 gets you $170. I like it. Where is that? Is that on FanDuel?
That's on FanDuel, right? Okay. And then, Matt, if you want to put up real quick, because I know Devan and Harry got plays and all, if you can, Matt, our great producer, Matt Jericho, there's the 6 point teaser that I run with. And I'll put a unit on this one. So the Panthers, look, I mean, the Giants come in with the biggest sense of false confidence I think you can identify. So we'll go +8.5. Jags, I move to 10. Are you kidding me? I get 4 against the Colts. I love it. Yeah. And then again, the Commanders moved to 2.5 when I teased them, so I only had to do a 6 point there to get through 7 and 8.
Yeah, I like it. I love the Jaguars plus the 4 this week against Indianapolis, and you're giving me 6 points of insurance on that. So I do love that. That New England line has stayed at -1.5 in Pittsburgh. Your thoughts?
I'm not touching it. I don't know about you two until I know how good Mac Jones' back is touching the Pats.
Yeah. Now, the Eagles line has gone from 2 to 2.5 on DraftKings against the Vikings.
I don't like it. It's
Yeah.
too much confidence in the Eagles. Kirk Cousins.
I already took the Vikings.
Yeah, like I don't ever like betting against the Eagles, obviously. Like we're Philly people, but I think this is gonna be a tough game, especially with Justin Jefferson. Like, how are we gonna stop him? Like watching what Jonathan Gannon was not able to do with the Eagles defense last week against the Lions. Like we let the Lions put up 35 points. How are we gonna stop Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson when they come into our house?
Oh, you kidding me? It's going to be a Jalen Reagor breakout game for the Vikings, man. Wouldn't that be something?
I can guarantee you they have plays in the playbook.
Classic Philadelphia.
Imagine him returns a punt for a touchdown or something. But people will go.
He's going to be out there. Watch. They have some gadget, something out there with him to get him the football. I guarantee you.
Also, guys, do you know the Eagles are 0-5, both straight up and against the spread in week 2 over the last 5 years?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They hate week 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow. Well, they're going to coach.
It's really tough.
That's a lot of coaching right there too. And you know, the transfer of Sirianni from Peterson didn't change that, Devin. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. All right. So recap, I'm going to take the Phillies first 5 runs over 1.5 at -115 tonight. I'm on the Chargers plus 4.5 in the Thursday night game. And I took Miami plus 5 and on the money line at Texas A&M. And I'm already jumped on the Vikings at 2.5.
I mean, look, I have no problem laying the 2.5 with the Eagles personally, but I think if you're going to take the Vikings, Harry, why not just take them on the money line?
Yeah, well, I can look at that too. What is that?
Okay.
I should have it. Right
I'm the only one on the Eagles with the points. Now, I locked in week 1, so I'm stuck here, but.
Right, you've been on this for a while.
We'll see.
Let me see what that Vikings number is. Plus 115.
Okay, wait then.
Yeah, plus 115 on DraftKings. All right, anything we missed?
No, beautiful. I appreciate all your patience with me. Thank you both, and Matt.
Eytan's Wi-Fi held up, so we'll be back on Friday with another edition. Go to the YouTube page, Philly Voice. Give us a subscribe and a like, and we'll see you Friday.